Hey everyone, AMR back again with another Doo Doo Brown series. So I actually ended up dropping the first game of the entire series last week against the Baltimore Ravens. We are headed into a bye week here into week 13. So let's go ahead and simulate a little bit. If you haven't, go ahead and check out the previous video linked here. And as always, if you like today's content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Helps me out a ton. So here we are at the bye week. Let's go ahead and see who is returning from injury. We are actually getting back Raheem Mostert. I think that guy is probably the fuel to our offense. He just opens up so much space, and we're really kind of seeing the limitations that A.J. Dillon has in the backfield there. But let's go ahead and look at the playoff pictures, see where we lie. I believe that we have the first round bye, and we do. And so do the Lions. How crazy is that? A lot of these teams are, kind of shockers. It's crazy to see that within a complete redraft of fantasy that some of these teams are re-showing up again, even still. For instance, it looks like damn near the entire AFC, what is that? AFC, like the AFC West or something like that. No, that's not right. It's kind of crazy to see like the entire, like Kansas City Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders, they're all a part of the same division. So it's crazy to see that all three of those are in here. And then along that same vein, you have the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns from the same division. We're actually getting the first round bye here. And you can see over on the right-hand side, there's just like a mosh posh of many different teams throughout the entire league. You actually have a very similar situation over here on the right, actually. It looks like you have the Carolina Panthers, Atlanta Falcons, and the New Orleans Saints all making it, which is kind of funny because right now all three of those teams are kind of like in this rebuilding period. Especially with the Matt Ryan trade to Indianapolis. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and see what we got on our plate here for the bye week. So looking over here at our bye week, let's go ahead and check out some of our players here. So of the people that we know about, let's go ahead and look at Kion Godfrey, who have 85% completion on his ability tracker. So he is A, awareness, A, throw on the run, B, throw under pressure, B, A. He's got D carrying, but I mean, so what? It'd be really nice to see where some of his like draft metrics are, but obviously we can't know that until after the season's over with. And then switching over here to our Ethan Brown, we know everything about this guy. So we know that he's an okay athlete. He's got A, impact block, B, pass block, B, run block, B, run power, B, run block power, A, lead block, A, injury, so he's not going to get injured. He's got terrible finesse moves when it comes to blocking. I mean, I don't necessarily think this is a guy worth trading up for, in my personal opinion. We have to be very, very picky about what we want to go ahead and trade up for here, and I'm not sure that this is a guy that we need. So looking over here at this middle linebacker, it's just proving to be that we don't really need him either. Middle linebacker is a position that we definitely need to watch very carefully. But that being said, I think that we have bigger needs to fill. Looking over here at this corner from Georgia, yeah, probably not that great either. He's an okay athlete, it looks like. I mean, to me personally, it looks like Kion Godfrey is going to be the #1 pick in the draft. He has everything that encompasses like a really, really top tier draft pick early on. And so let's also take a look at Kevin Jackson here. B, block shedding, B, impact block, F on stamina, C on power moves. Like, he's not as great as what I would have expected. So switching up over here, I did note in the last portion of the last episode, we have a lot of staff points that I haven't really dedicated to or delegated too much. So let's go ahead and take care of some of that really quick. Okay, so first things first, I think that we need to address our offense coordinator. I think that he is definitely someone that needs a little bit of TLC. Boosting the run block, I think that that's really good, especially with having Raheem Mostert coming straight off of injury. It'd be really nice to get some more depth on his blocking percentage. Now, run up the hill, boost stamina for wide receivers, tight ends by 3. I really like that as well. And then looking over here at on an island, boost pass block for tight ends by 3. I think that that is also a crucial part of this entire team's effort. Switching over here to the defensive coordinator, I think that we are also going to have to be yeah, I mean, our linebacking core is pretty bad, so we need to go ahead and beef that up as much as possible. Hot pursuit, you know, obviously this is going to be a huge need for us as well. And then I think I'm going to leave the rest of the 21 points here for the head coach. That just makes sense. And we are down to 1 staff point now. So that's going to do it for the talent tree portion. Let's go ahead and look at last week's weekly award winners. So you had OBJ with his 7 for 206 and 2 receiving touchdowns. But on the other side of the ball, actually the people that we played against, we had Kiwakowski. Oh my God, that's a tough name to pronounce and spell. But he had 6 tackles, 1 sack, 1 INT, 1 forced fumble, and a touchdown. Yeah, that Baltimore Ravens team is going to be a problem, and we have them again here in today's episode. So I think that that is going to do it for this bye week. I think I'm going to go ahead and simulate now into next week and take a look if there's any type of player upgrades. Okay, so looking down there in the bottom right, it looked like the Baltimore Ravens actually dropped last week's game while we were on bye. So we are going to be catching them off of a hot streak. Like they're no longer on a hot streak is what I mean to say there. And so let's just go ahead and jump right into today's game. I'm feeling pretty spicy today. I am pretty pissed that we lost last episode, and I'd like this to be a statement game if we can. So crossing our fingers while we simulate through training here, hopefully that no one gets injured. Raheem Mostert is like an injury-prone player in real life as well as in this game, apparently. So luckily we have no one on the offensive side of the ball. Now holding our breath here while we look at the defense. We have an ACL sprain. Okay, so that was the defensive side of the ball. We have an ACL sprain from Jay Baddett. He is a wide receiver, but he is not necessarily a starter for our team. He's getting starter reps. I don't even know what that means at this point. Look at how many starter reps there are. So no big notable injuries there. An ACL sprain is pretty tough. Like I didn't even know that you could sprain your ACL. I thought it was like either a tear or you're good, you know. But going ahead and looking here, we have Kadarius Toney with yet another training point upgrade. So let's go ahead and upgrade his scheme fit for a 78 overall with morale. Getting a +1 on speed. That's going to help him in his special teams return. Got great deep route potential now, and he's really clutching the traffic. So I think that Kadarius Toney is going to be a playmaker for us moving forward. And then, of course, you got Cleo Mack. He's just been on an absolute tear mission this season. He's got +2 pursuit, +2 man coverage, +1 hit power, and +1 block shedding. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and just jump right into this thing. Let's go ahead and see if we can knock the Baltimore Ravens out of the playoff picture. Really quick before we jump into today's episode, I actually want to also take a look here. Yeah, so it looks like there has been a little bit of a shakeup here. I don't know who the Baltimore Ravens were going against over there on the left-hand side. If I had to take a stab at it, I thought it was the Titans, if I'm not mistaken. But it looks like the Titans have actually dropped out and Indianapolis has taken that over. That makes sense. They're in the same actual division. And then looking over there at the right, things look pretty consistent over there. It looks like New Orleans took over the 2 spot in the division, and the Carolina Panthers dropped down into the 5. First round bye weeks both stayed pretty consistent here. Makes sense. We were on bye week, and then the Lions seem to be doing fine on their side as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some gameplay here. So here we are at First Energy Stadium. It looks like we are actually going to be kicking off to the Baltimore Ravens. I would like to make a statement early on in this game that it is not going to be a repeat of last episode. I want to go ahead and just absolutely make the Baltimore Ravens hate their life. I want to knock them out of the playoff potential. I want to just like own the field. Trevor Lawrence, he should have never been able to do what he did last week against us. And Ronald Jones just ran the ball all over us last week. So we need to be a little bit more cautious on, like we know what to expect in this game. Let's be honest here. We know that they can run the ball, and they run the ball with very good success. At the same token, they did have a very strong defense, one that Big Ben was just really struggling with. So got good little hit power there. Nice by Shaq Thompson out there on the left-hand side. We are in a man coverage here. I'm going to go ahead and switch down to Cleo Mack. Probably going to be double covered here off the left-hand side, which is totally fine. He ends up getting around one, and Trevor Lawrence felt that pressure on his backside, so he ended up getting the ball out early there. Pretty smart move on his part. I'm going to go ahead and switch on to Deontay Hightower here. And I think I'm just going to try and monitor the middle of the field. Let's hit that block. Really, really nice. So we are going to be forcing a 3-and-out on the first series of today's game. That is exactly what I wanted. I mean, when I had in mind, like, hey, we need to go out, put the ball into our playmakers' hands, make sure that we are doing our absolute best to take control of this game early on and often. This is what I had in mind. So I think that it makes sense to try and get Raheem Mostert activated earlier rather than later. He is back to his starting role now that he is no longer injured, which is fantastic. He starts off his return with an 18-yard breakaway on the left-hand side of the field, getting into the out of bounds. I think that that is exactly what you want to see from the guy in his return. So we're going to try and target Devontae Parker here on this down route. Go ahead and try. Oh my God. I don't know how that's not 1, deflected, and 2, intercepted. The fact that that was completed at all is kind of remarkable to me. The Baltimore Ravens have an exquisite run defense right now, so we're going to have to try and get a little creative here. B is open, I think. Devontae Parker falling just shy of the first down marker there. I actually don't hate that at all. Do a nice little halfback draw right up the gut. Raheem Mostert is fast enough to go ahead and push forward for a first down. If they're going to mark him short, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous, man. Go ahead and switch into a halfback screen here. They're pressing. Oh! There's no way. There's no way. I tapped RB to get some elevation on that right there, and you got to be kidding me, man. This is not going to happen. I guarantee you it's not happening, okay? So don't be worried. Get a nice little hit stick there on Shaq Thompson yet again. So Trevor Lawrence is going to try and run the option, which I think is interesting. I don't know if he does that a lot in the actual world. Not saying that, you know. Oh, my God. Bryce Callahan just bumped on Justin Simmons there, who had probably a breakaway touchdown pick 6. If he doesn't get hit there, he probably intercepts that ball. Hate to see that, but, you know, it happens. That was just a really, really inaccurate throw, and we're seeing a quite different team here on the offensive side of the ball from the Ravens. I need to figure out, maybe get a little creative on our offensive side of the ball, because the Baltimore Ravens are so stacked on defense. It's for sure their strongest point. Trying to just get out of bounds here. I'm not trying to get Kadarius Toney hurt. Especially when he just got like 2 point upgrades. He's, you know, showing a lot of promise on our offense, and you know, he's the future of this franchise. Let's be honest. Let's say what it is, you know. Go ahead and run a nice little play action pass here. See if we can get the defense sleeping. I think OBJ might be open. He is on the cross route, and we are going in for a touchdown. Nice little, I want to say close to a 70-yard touchdown on the first play of the possession here. So that is what you love to see. A nice little bounce back drive there for our Cleveland Browns team. And OBJ is over 1,250 yards on the season. The guy is an absolute monster, and I was dead on. It's 1 play for 70 yards there. Cleveland already has 110 yards of total offense this game. Pretty much a polar 180 from last week's episode, where it seemed like we were just down and down bad the entire game. So they're going to go ahead and start with the ball out here towards the 25-yard line. It's actually at the 24. Would have been more beneficial to them to actually let that ball go into the end zone. They're only losing a yard, but, you know, every inch counts, you know what I mean? So Akeem Hicks, I'm going to try and get him shedding the block there. Nice little block there. by 54. Is that Woodyard or is that Strobridge? I can't tell the difference. Oh, no, that's Devontae Hightower. You know, I just get all these players so mixed up. They're not really, like, a lot of them aren't wearing the numbers that they wear in real life, so it is a little hard to distinguish some players from others. Shaq Thompson has the middle of the field here. I'm just trying to watch this undercut route, and Trevor Lawrence does what rookie quarterbacks do. They overthrow the receivers all the time. Saw that a ton this season by Trevor Lawrence. I don't necessarily think that was his fault. He didn't really have much to work with. You know, he has a really, really tough situation. He had a tremendous amount of pressure coming out of college. He was a tank for Trevor was like the motto, and most teams were like, hell yeah, if we get Trevor Lawrence, we're no longer going to suck anymore. And it's like, that's a pretty big shoe to fill, you know? So Acquire goes down there for the Baltimore Ravens, so we have to be a little cautious here, figure out what we can do on the slant route. Oh, no chance, bro. Big Ben has been so inaccurate this season, man. The guy was open. If you rewind the episode right there, God, he was open. I promise you. He just needs to get a little bit more loft on that throw, and it's a touchdown, man. Not a touchdown. I don't know. That's tough. That's really tough. I don't agree. Yeah, I can't even say that's like poor decision making on my part, because I really do think that was a good call. He underthrew it, and the defense made him pay for it. It just happens, you know. That guy's going to fall forward for an extra maybe 3-4 yards on the play, and it is a short second down here. They are on the goal line. We need to go ahead and try and stack the middle if we can. Dante Hightower. Oh, man, he cut. That was a really good cut there by Juszczyk. And we are at a tie game. Baltimore Ravens has had our number here in this divisional showdown for the last, really 5 quarters. So Baltimore marches down the field, scores off of Big Ben's interception, and we are set to receive the football here with about a minute left here in the first quarter. Very nice. We're actually going to take over here with about a minute left in the first quarter. Kadarius Toney takes the ball out of the end zone, and we are starting right around the 30-yard line. Actually dead on the 30-yard line. So love to see that. Devontae Parker has a nice little route here. Hayden Hurst is open on the outside. I'm just going to hit him early. Try to do a little hit stick there on 27. Who is that? Looks like Joe Johnson, maybe? Or not Joe Johnson. John Johnson? I don't know. Hayden Hurst, another good route. Go ahead and do another little type of hit stick there, and he has the first down, and we are cooking with gas here. Go ahead and try and get Raheem Mostert activated again. I think I'm actually going to switch into a streak on Marvin Jones Jr. It looks like he might be open. Oh, my God, dude. Big Ben, you got to figure this out, man. I really don't think that these are bad reads. I think that, it's maybe a little risky. Maybe. I don't know. Big Ben's making it way more interesting than it should be. I'll put it that much on the table. And Raheem Mostert's got a guy to beat, and he beats him. Dude, that's that breakaway speed that we were missing, man. I told you. A.J. Dillon gets tackled there 10 out of 10 times. Look, A.J. Dillon is a super good power back, but the guy is not it for this team. He does not play to the play style that I like to run out of, and that's okay. It just happens. OBJ's open here on the flat route. Do a nice little hit stick, maybe push forward there for an extra yard, and they're going to stop his forward progression right around the 25-yard line here. We're going to go ahead and try and do a level switch. They're switching there. I got OBJ open right on that switch in coverage. That's why you don't do that mid-play. You just kind of eat crow and figure it out. But as soon as I saw that corner switch off, I was like, snap the ball right now, free play pretty much. And OBJ walks in for a nice little touchdown. So the Baltimore Ravens take over here on their own 25-yard line. It has been a pretty putrid showing on their offensive start when we're not giving them the ball in our half. And that is going to lead to a nice little sack by Cleo Mack there. He has been feasting this season, and he's already got his superstar X-Factor ability popped there. Let's go ahead and try and push him directly up the middle. Get through, and that is going to be an incomplete pass for Trevor Lawrence, who is only 4 for 39 on the day. I'm trying to get Cleo Mack off the line, but I don't know how to do that. If you know how to, please comment down below. Let me know. Oh my God, how is that not a pick by Cleo Mack there? And we are going to force yet another 3-and-out. I believe that is our third 3-and-out force on the day. So here we are taking over on downs. It looks like we have a nice little play cut under there. Big Ben is completely under pressure. He's trying to get out of bounds, and he's going to fumble the ball, and it is actually picked up there by the Baltimore Ravens. Big Ben is down for the count. So that is fantastic. Let's go ahead and see how long he's going to be knocked out of contention here. Apologies there for the little strip in the middle of the screen there. I went ahead and fixed that. I think that the way that I'm doing this type of no fill on the back screen is actually it's kind of a tricky situation, and the window wasn't small enough, so it was catching some of those edges on the side there, and sorry about that, but we are good to go now, forcing a nice little 3-and-out here. Our defense is cooking with gas right now, and Big Ben is actually out of the game, so we are actually substituted. They faked it? I wasn't even paying attention. Kyle Juszczyk pushes over to the right side. They're pulling out all the stops here. They want to try and pull out another upset, and we need to figure out ways to shut this down. Our defense has been superb. We just need yet another nice little stop here, especially on our own 15. It'd be clutch as F to go ahead and stop this as soon as we can. We have Deontay Hightower over there on the left-hand side. He ends up having to do a block shed, and Ronald Jones picks up the first down. So it is going to be a first and goal for the Baltimore Ravens here on our own 10-yard line. This is not ideal at all. Try and get... Bang! Miles... Oh, that's Cleo Mack again on his 10th tackle for loss this season. Not necessarily that fantastic, if you're being quite honest. You'd think a guy who has so many sacks that he would do a little bit better, especially being 12. This will be the 13th game of the season for them. I just would have... Oh my God, what a hit by Cleo Mack right there. So I'm a little surprised that he has so few tackles for loss, but it is what it is. Go ahead and get Trevor Lawrence, and it is a nice little pick there by Justin Simmons. He just jumps the route, and we are cooking with gas. Let's go ahead and run a nice little play action pass. They are running a single high safety, which we know from our experience that is definitely our bread and butter. It is the perfect situation to throw this out of. Oh my God. OBJ with another monster reception, and he dives into the end zone for his second 70-plus yard touchdown of the day. OBJ is an absolute monster, menace in the secondary. He's getting past pretty much everyone there, and that is pretty much the ideal situation for Ripien coming in or an injured Big Ben. I'm not necessarily sure what the injury was. I wasn't technically paying attention, but I didn't even have an option to keep him in the game, so it's got to be pretty serious. So we are back here on defense. They are going to get the 2-minute warning as an extra timeout. They have all their timeouts in play here, and we are going to stop the run as soon as possible here. It is the 2-minute warning here at First Energy Stadium. We have a 21-7 lead over the visiting Baltimore Ravens. And yeah, we've been able to pretty much shut them down on the defensive side of the ball so far. And now that Big Ben is injured, it'll be interesting to see how our offense progresses without some experience at the quarterback position. So we're going to head and blitz. I don't necessarily believe in this being the perfect play call by any means. I was using on Cleo Mack there. Probably shouldn't have. He had direct coverage over the wide receiver there on the right-hand side. I'm not going to call any timeouts here. I don't know if we could even score if we got the ball back. I think it would actually be detrimental to us if we went ahead and called timeouts here. Trying to keep him in bounds there, but I ended up hit sticking him, so he had just his forward progress being pushed out of bounds. So Myles Garrett over there on the right-hand side. Go ahead and try and pop off the line. He gets a nice little club. Oh, my God. That was so close to being a pick there by Denzel Ward. Oh, my God. We are just shy of a minute left here in the second quarter of the game. Going to try and get Cleo Mack activated over here on the left-hand side. Do a nice little spin move. That gets all eaten up. That might be a roughing the passer call. Luckily, there's no flag on the play, so it means that we got away with one there. But I do think that we might have pushed down Trevor Lawrence after the play was over. Switching over here to Myles Garrett on the right-hand side. Get a nice little club move. It ends up not getting too much. Oh, that ball's out. That ball's out, and Justin Simmons got the ball. Let's go. Another forced fumble. Another forced fumble. 83, that looks like Willie Snead. Probably Tyler Conklin, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look here. Is that Tyler Conklin? It's got to be. Yep, Tyler Conklin. He ends up putting the ball on the ground. I actually had him on my fantasy team. He did okay for his role. I think the Vikings need to figure out what they're going to do at the tight end position. OBJ almost gets past the secondary there. Ripien's actually not too bad. I kind of like the vibe that he's giving off. Trying to get Raheem Mostert activated here. We got 26 seconds left. Let's go ahead and then just put Devontae Parker on a nice little streak here. See if he can get past the secondary. He's got a step. Oh my God, he's got to come down with that. He's got to come down with that. Ripien's out here putting his heart and soul into this. Come on, man. Just kidding, of course. Let's go ahead and see if we can get Hayden Hurst open here. Maybe we can get ourselves a nice little field goal position. Ripien ends up throwing a nice little pick there. Not the worst thing in the world. I mean, they're going to have one shot at the end zone here. Maybe they just try and kick a field goal. Not the end of the world. I wanted to possibly play that a little different. You know, I would love to end the quarter with the ball in my hands, but that's not obviously going to pay out here. This is an ideal situation. Put the ball back in Conklin's hand, and hopefully he does another fumble. But that's going to round out the first half of play here. We are in the lead by 14 points. The game has not felt quite as close as what the scoreline is. I would say a two-score possession is pretty close, but we are opening up this second half with the football in our hands. Kadarius Toney is pretty good at returning the football. He has been averaging right around like 30-plus yards a return. See what I mean? He's been an absolute monster for this team so far, and we haven't run the ball quite a bit. You know, that kind of got shut down pretty early, and I think that that's kind of made us deviate away from our bread and butter play type. But Raheem Mostert might actually have some gas in the tank here. Now that we've been like pretty much running the football down or like passing the football the entire game, might be good to like try and get Raheem Mostert activated here in the second half pretty early on. So let's go ahead and run another misdirection here. I really love the misdirection play call. Raheem Mostert, oh my God. OBJ has to figure out how to... OBJ's got to figure out how to pass, or how to run block, man. Holy cow. How does a guy as good as OBJ have such horrible blocking recognition? He has been so bad so many times this season for us, where we just need him to hold a block for seconds longer, and he can't do it. He just can't do it. For whatever reason, he just cracks under pressure and ends up blocking the wrong guy or whatever. A.J. Dillon ends up getting a nice little reception there, and Ripien's kind of going off here for us. I don't hate this at all. Let's get Raheem Mostert back out on the field here. We got green all over the place. Let's go ahead and see if Raheem Mostert can bust one off for us. We got blockers. Oh, little juke move. Oh my goodness. 8 for 54, so he's averaging right around, what is that, close to 7 yards a carry. He's doing pretty good this game. It's a nice welcome back game for him. There's another 8 yards on the play call there. Anderson is down for Baltimore, so we're going to go ahead and do a quick little timeout on the field, and then we are going to go back to an A.J. Dillon nosedive here. So we have motion here off to the left. Let's go ahead and just run this ball straight up the gut. Get A.J. Dillon going here. He's really... Oh, my God. The trucking ability that A.J. Dillon has is really second to none. Like, this dude is a monster with this carrying ability. Look at this dude. He just put 96 on his back and went into the end zone. You don't get that from Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert is like shifty. He's quick. You know, he's really, really fast. And A.J. Dillon's like, I don't miss leg day, bud. But we jump out here to a 28-7 lead over the Baltimore Ravens. This is going swimmingly for a team that is coming off of a loss and a bye week. We are coming out with that energy that we needed. Justin Tucker's about to boom this into the back of the end zone. So the Baltimore Ravens are going to be taking over here on their own 25-yard line. It was actually booted into the back of the end zone there. There's balls on the ground, and we end up getting the recovery. Cleo Mack spin move. Oh, baby. We are on the 15-yard line. Trevor Lawrence is just like, I don't know, man. I'm struggling, bruh. Sorry, but guess what? We got the football now. We are on the 17-yard line, and A.J. Dillon is coming back into the backfield. Doesn't really end up getting any yards. Maybe actually so he actually got 2 yards on the play. That's okay. I'm definitely not overly concerned with whether or not that we score on this drive per se. I think that we have a lot of things going for us right now, and as long as we just continue to control the clock, control the overall gameplay here, and I think we'll be okay. But let's go ahead and put OBJ on a streak if we can. See if he can get that separation. If not, we could always check down to Raheem Mostert in the backfield. Pretty dangerous pass there. I don't know. You know, sometimes you don't know. And I just go ahead and kick this field goal here so we can secure a nice little 31-7 lead. And it is a 4-score game. You heard that correctly. So the Baltimore Ravens are taking over on their 25 for the second time in probably 2 minutes here. And we have been kind of controlling this second half so far. Love to see it. We have 10 unanswered points right now. And I mean, if they're going to continue to run options, it's going to be a really, really long day for them. They have a big deficit to make up here, and a quarterback option is just not going to do it for them. Let's be honest. Bang! Oh, my God. Myles Garrett picks the dude up, and pile drives him into the ground. You love to see that. Let's be honest. Myles Garrett, I've kind of been a little disappointed. I feel like we've had more breakout games from Cleo Mack thus far. And, come on, get behind. Okay, 24. Who's 24? I can't think. Personal foul. What? You've got to be kidding me with that shit, man. How does a guy get a roughing the passer call on a screen play? You know? Like, I don't know. That's a pretty tough call there. Myles Garrett has the contain out there on the right-hand side, trying to force back in MVS inside. And MVS ends up getting a nice little 8 yards on the play there. Go ahead and try and clog up the interior here with Akeem Hicks, who is the whole reason why they have a first down to begin with. And they're going to get forward progression, I would think. So it is going to be first down, Baltimore Ravens here. Let's go ahead and run a free safety blitz. Let's go ahead and get a little crazy, get a little squirrely here. It's kind of fun playing with a lead because then you can do a little bit more fun things here and there. Who's injured? It looks like it's a Baltimore Raven. And I'm going to be honest, it kind of looked like Ronald Jones. So as you can see, you have a new back in the backfield there. I think that Ronald Jones got hurt for them last play, but I don't think it's going to matter as number 12 runs into the end zone there. And that's going to be Vaughn. Vaughn, I think his name's Keyshawn Vaughn. He used to play on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He might still actually play for him. He was a rookie last season. I'm trying to think of where he came out of. I think that I thought he was an SEC guy. But I could be wrong there. Definitely more of a bruiser back. I don't think that he is like a feature back in the NFL by any means. And they actually do not convert there on the 2-point conversion. Kadarius Toney's going to be taking this out here. See if he can get up the... Oh, there was... I saw a line. I saw a line there, and if Kadarius Toney could have gotten around that one block to the left side there, I think that's curtains, boy. So we are going back to our bread and butter here with the running. We have almost 400 total yards of offense on the play, and that trap just didn't exist, but Raheem Mostert was so fast that the pulling guard did not even need to be there. So no harm, no foul there. We're just going to continue pushing this ball downfield. I'm just going to run traps down the nose of the defense here, and hopefully one time or another it's just going to be enough to break one off here. Raheem Mostert reaches the century mark for the first time in 4 or 5 weeks. You love to see that from a guy who has pretty much dominated this team's offense all season long. And we're going to switch out into a nice little 4 streak. OBJ might have a step. Goes up, just out of reach there. Kind of maybe going for maybe a PI. But there was just no contact to be had there. I see A.J. Dillon in the backfield, so we're not even going to try. Maybe try and hit Y here on an undercut route. Oh my God, I saw that linebacker. He's gonna fumble the football. Dude, I never, ever throw the ball to Marvin Jones Jr. I promise you I never throw the ball to him. The last 2 times that I have targeted him, this week and last week, he has done that. It's lucky it's after the bye week, because I'm telling you what, right now, I'm thinking that he's going to be gone next season. Ruling on the field is overturned, and he actually did not fumble the football, but I am sticking with what I said. I don't give a shit. That is uncalled for. Just hold on to the ball. Like, take care of the football, man. There's a flag on the play, probably a holding. Going to push us back, though they actually accept the penalty there. I'm a little shocked. Not going to lie, a little shocked. But we are going to run another counter here and then settle for a field goal. Totally fine with that. We're probably going to run this down to the 4th quarter as well. Maybe I'll actually kick it at... Yep. So this is going to bring us into the 4th quarter here. We have a 31-13 lead over the Baltimore Ravens here at First Energy Stadium. And Justin Tucker is going to be kicking into the win for a 50-yard field goal attempt. Is it accurate? Let's go ahead and see. It's kind of shading to the right, but it has plenty of leg to go ahead and extend this to a 34-13 lead over the Baltimore Ravens. So the Baltimore Ravens are going to be taking over here on their own 25. We have done a very good job so far on defense today, and I don't really have any plans of changing that up. That is going to be our left edge. I want to say it was Cleo Mack just getting to the quarterback there. Love to see that. He was almost just a second too late, which could have been very detrimental to this overall drive. But that is going to be a nice little catch by Vaughn out of the backfield. I think that he has a very similar role to that in real life. I think that he's more of the pass-catching back out of the backfield. He's definitely more numbers-to-numbers type of a runner. I don't necessarily think that he is a north-south. I think that he is an east-to-west type of a runner. That guy just picked up the grass. That was Myles Garrett. I'm not really sure what he's doing there. He's having fun out there. They're kind of dominating this game. They pick up a first down, but, you know, Myles Garrett's like, whatever, Doug. Try and stop MVS before he gets a chance to break away. And the Baltimore Ravens are getting hurt left, right, and center right now. They can't seem to stay healthy in this game, and that's going to be a major problem for them, because if they drop today's game, they're dropping to a 7-6 record, probably out of playoff contention. And it's going to be an uphill battle for the rest of the season for him. Trevor Lawrence has 170 yards total on the day, and Kyle Juszczyk is 3 for 10. That is a little bit more involvement than Kyle Juszczyk gets in real life, but that being said, I think that they are trying to kind of scramble for a solution here, as they are losing out on Ronald Jones for the remainder of today's game. So you can see Juszczyk in the backfield yet again, so you have to be a little cautious here that they are going to have some pretty extensive pass blocking. Go ahead and just kind of chill. Maybe play him out. Oh my God, right in the hands of Deontay Hightower. Probably our slowest linebacker that we have, so he's probably not going to be able to break forward, but he ends up getting us into the 30-yard line there, and the 30-year-old veteran linebacker from the New England Patriots ends up getting us in perfect scoring possession here, or position right before the end of the fourth quarter. We're halfway through, actually, so there's plenty of time on the play clock here. We can get creative if we want, or we can just go ahead and run this ball down. I think Raheem Mostert needs to be our feature back for today's episode. He's just, it's so nice to have him back, you know. I hate, you know, driving a point home more than I need to, but I mean, it's been really nice having a guy like him back. He's such a big deal for this team. Ripien throw on the run there to a Marvin Jones Jr. touchdown. That is very, very unlike Big Ben. So love to see that Ripien has such good throw on the run. I think that he's only, I want to say maybe like a 70 overall. He's really low. And, you know, I don't think that he really does fantastic in the real world. So maybe a little uncharacteristic of him in real life. But so we go ahead and extend our lead to a 41-13 lead over the Baltimore Ravens here, with just about half of a quarter left to play in this one before we call it a game. Keem Hicks with a nice little pass rush up the middle, and Trevor Lawrence is getting rid of it just in time to avoid the sack. It is going to be a 2nd and 10 here, and they are on their own 25, so they need to be careful. That is a monster hit from Shaq Thompson. Shaq Thompson has been just laying the lumber all game long. I feel like that's his 3rd or 4th hit stick that we've actually seen the animation click through. And Tyler Conklin's already been on the short end of the stick so far in that matchup. So it's kind of interesting to see that they keep targeting a guy that's fumbled. I say that with a little bit of grain of salt, considering that we just threw a touchdown to Marvin Jones. Granted that that got called back. It wasn't actually a fumble that stood. But all things being equal, you know, I kind of got to eat crow there and just understand that, hey, you said something stupid. Own up to it. Cleo Mack over here on the left-hand side is going to do a bull rush, and Tyler Conklin gets another first down. He's got to be up to like 60 yards on the day or something. What's he at? Yep, 7 for 73. Doesn't surprise me a bit. I feel like he's been super involved in this offense. It's pretty much been MVS and Tyler Conklin so far today. So, oh my God, Shaq Thompson was in a really good position. He was just facing the wrong direction. Not really sure what happened there, but 750 yards on the year from Calvin Ridley. Interesting. I did not realize that he was on this team. Haven't really seen him a ton today. Or last week for that matter. And they end up getting a quick little hitter to Jawan Johnson, another tight end on the team. Jawan Johnson is most known for his work stint, or whatever you want to call it, with the New Orleans Saints. I think he's only a 1st or 2nd year guy. But, you know, he's a big body tight end. I think that he has a very good future in the NFL. He's been super good so far in his short amount of time in the NFL. And with the amount of uncertainty that they've had at the quarterback position, I think that he's kind of overperformed, if that makes sense. He's been pleasantly surprising so far. But we are getting really, really close here to wrapping this game out. We have 1 minute and 32 left on the game, and Trevor Lawrence is starting to get a little desperate. They are trying to air the ball out as much as they can. And Trevor Lawrence is pushing up. He's going to take a huge hit, and the ball's on the ground for probably the 3rd or 4th time. Recovered by Myles Garrett there. Trevor Lawrence he's all out of whack right now. They're starting to understand that last week was a complete fluke and that this team is far superior to what they are bringing to the table. A.J. Dillon ends up getting met directly in the backfield there, and Kinlaw's down now. So it's interesting to see who's actually going to be healthy for this team moving forward. It seems like literally everyone on this team is injured, falling apart, whatever. But it is a 2nd and 11 here. A.J. Dillon gets stood up yet again there. And that is going to be Eric Kendricks on the tackle. So I think it's worth just trying to do a nice little air out play here. We're probably going to end up having to be forced into a punt anyway, so worst comes to worst, you know, we punt the ball. Not a big deal, but we're going to go ahead and try and drain as much clock off, or going to go ahead and try and drain as much off the clock as we can here. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and possibly target Hayden Hurst. He's got the open man. Hayden Hurst with a nice little reception, and that is going to do it for this game. Let's go ahead and just do a QB draw. I'm curious to see what Kyle Ripien's wheels are like. Well, I think I just got my answer, you know. That was pretty tough. So maybe we can go ahead and switch on to maybe another type of a pass. Oh my God, Hayden Hurst almost caught another pass there. 6 for 11, 173 yards, touchdown or 2 and a pick, plus a fumble that ended up getting recovered by our own team. Not a bad day's work from Ripien. So the biggest news coming out of today's game is the loss of Big Ben. I think that we are going to have to check up on the status of him, but in today's episode, we actually got to see the return of Raheem Mostert for 17 for 118. I think that he did end up getting a touchdown, maybe, if I'm not mistaken, but OBJ continues to be on fire. 5 for 217. He's got Cooper Kupp numbers pretty much every single week here. And yeah, you know, I think that Ripien was not necessarily bad for his debut on the team. Had a little bit of nerves, as you can see, with the interception, and you know, just over half of his passes were completed. Some of them were a little risky on my part, and he also fumbled the football on the first rush attempt that he had, but not a bad day's work by any means. So OBJ actually has a player upgrade here, so let's go ahead and update his deep threat ability. He's actually playing up to a 98 overall. Look at that. He has a +1 catching, a +1 release, 2+ on the deep route, and +1 on the awareness. You love to see that from a guy like OBJ. So really quick before we cut today's episode, I want to go ahead and take a look here at Big Ben. He's got a broken collarbone. So Big Ben is likely done for the remainder of the season. I don't even know if he'll be back in time to play in the Super Bowl. The 39-year-old Big Ben is out for 7 weeks with a broken collarbone, so we are stuck with Ripien moving forward. But that's going to do it for today's episode. We end up improving to a 12-1 over the Baltimore Ravens, who in the beginning of the episode kind of looked like a tougher matchup, but we kind of had our way there towards the end. As always, if you like today's content, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Helps me out a ton. But I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!